Hi friends, this is Kim with Stonesville Homestead coming at you with a video that is a long time coming. I canned bacon on March 17th and today I am going to bring it out of the jar and see what it looks like and finish it and let you know how it turned out. So the first thing we're gonna do is open that jar. And I have a key, a canning key. If you ever see one of these at antique stores or auctions, you'll wanna pick it up. It is the best. It doesn't bend your lids. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. Listen to that seal. Looks good. Smells like bacon. And we're going to grab that parchment paper wrapped bacon and we are going to pull it out. Not sure how that's going to work. I figured the parchment paper would be greasy, but it is not at all. It is just easy to grab onto. But I can't seem to get it out of the jar. And it said a pound of bacon per jar, which is about what I was doing. I didn't have that completely measured out. Let me see if I can get a tool to get this out of here. So I've got this rubber scraper. It's just kind of small. I'm gonna break that grease up away from this parchment paper. Maybe that'll help. And remember, when we canned, we did not add any liquid to this. It just does not want to come out. I thought it was going to be easier than this, but again, never tried this before, so here it comes. There we go. I did put some gloves on to help me with pulling it out of here. If you want shelf-stable bacon, this is great. Boy, does that look gross. I'll be honest. Okay. And there is the roll of bacon. Let's see if I can get this out. Now I see I've got some pieces. The meat part of it is cooked. There's no doubt about it. It's all cooked. And I am going to lay this bacon out. You'll want to make sure that you've sprayed your tray before you lay your bacon down. Come back and get this open a little bit better. Shake some of this bacon out of this small end here so I can get it unwrapped. You know, it's not eye-pleasing by any means. I'm going to be honest about this. Shelf-stable bacon, is it worth it? Well, it's bacon. So I've said that before. When you got bacon that's shelf-stable, and if your freezers go out, it is a great way to preserve your bacon. So I'm not going to say that it's a bad choice, but I'm just gonna finish unrolling this so you can see that the bacon is, you can see the meat part of it, it is cooked. There is no doubt about it that the canning process did what it was supposed to do. I'm just gonna lay this out here. I'm just trying to peel this all off. And there is that bacon unrolled. And I'm going to finish laying this out so it's not touching anything. Each piece has its own place on the pan. And I'm going to bake this in an oven at 400 degrees for about 13 minutes, but that's for raw bacon. So I think I'm going to just keep an eye on it and I will let you know how it turns out. Okay friends, the bacon is done. I'm going to do a taste test and it's crispy. Tastes like bacon. It's very tender. I think it's quite delicious. I love the texture of it. It's not a weird texture. If you want crispier bacon, of course, you would need to bake it longer. I'm not sure this experiment was a success completely. However, I think it was partially. The reason I say that, was it worth the time and effort it took to can the bacon, run the pressure canner, lay it back out, bake it to make it crispy, or I could have put it in a frying pan? I'm not sure. It would be great for camping. It would be great for when your power goes out, that you have things that are on your shelf, shelf stable. You don't have to worry about losing them in your freezers or refrigerators. So that part was 100% successful. Is it time consuming? Yes, it is. In the long run, I think it is worth the effort to have shelf stable meat. And so I've compiled a list for you today on reasons that you would want to can your own meat. The biggest reason, number one reason I thought of was I'm going to save freezer space. If the freezer needs things, there are certain things we like textures better in the freezer. I definitely want to make room for those in the freezer. There are things that I just have to put in the freezer that I cannot preserve. And I'm sure there's ways to preserve those things. And there are ways to preserve those things. I just prefer the texture better in the freezer. But that is the best reason I can think of to can meat. Not only bacon, beef, sausage, deer, venison, which I believe is the same. Actually, I know it's the same. But those kind of things, you know, you want to get your stuff shelf stable. The second reason is save money to buy in bulk. You can go buy 40 pounds of chicken or bacon when it's at a great price. You buy in bulk, you can put it on your canning shelves, your pantry shelves, and have some great meals for you. You know what's in that jar is another reason. Whether you add salt or herbs or spices, there's no preservatives. It is strictly what you have put in that jar. So you are preserving whatever type of meat product you want and seasoning it the way you want it seasoned. You can use, number three would be use the fuel and the electricity resources that you have now. Last night, 2 nights ago, we had some tornado activity in our region, straight line wind activity. We did not get hit. However, many in our area did. There was a farm just northwest of us that lost 4 chicken barns. And that is in northern Indiana in the first day of April. It's not unheard of for us to be hit by tornadoes or snowstorms, blizzards, ice storms. In the South, in Mississippi, they got hit as well. So this isn't just a regional problem. Emergencies happen everywhere. And losing your power is one of those emergencies that we have to prepare for. So you want to use your resources now while you have it, and get it on your pantry shelf. The next I thought was, which we've kind of already covered, is what's in your jar. That's my number 4 reason. Number 5 reason, it's stressless cooking. If you lose your power, you don't have to think about cooking a meat. Most everybody has a way to make fire, outdoor propane grill. They have ways to produce a meal if necessary. And having meat that's already cooked saves that fuel, but you can heat and eat. I have meals in the jar. I have beef stew in a jar. I have chili in a jar. I have chicken soup in a jar. I have all ground beef in a jar. I have many things that are ready from pantry shelf to pot to meal. I do not have to think about cooking a roast for several hours. It's already done in a jar. The next item, or the next reason, would be save money. The reason alone should make you see that canning and getting these items on your pantry shelf is worth it. You're going to save money by buying in bulk when it's on sale. Or if you have your own homestead or small farm, or even if you have a friend, you can buy a half a beef, which we have done in the past. Buy beef in bulk. You save money doing it that way. The number 7 reason is save time on meal prep. If I want tacos, I just open a jar of my ground beef, add my taco meat or seasoning, and it is ready to go in a matter of minutes. I also pre-season my chicken to make chicken fajitas. I have curry chicken. I have Asian chicken. I have several flavors of canned chicken meat that I just dump in a pot, heat and eat. All I need is my sides to go with that, and I'm ready to go. The next reason would be save on thinking on what should I make for dinner, or what should I have thawed from the freezer. You get home, you don't know what to cook, and you realize you forgot to pull the meat out of the freezer to thaw. And now what do you make? Again, having shelf-stable meat on your shelf takes that thinking out of it, and you're ready to go. Many of these reasons cross over to one another. So the number 9 reason, which is not me, and I do think about these things, but saving the planet. I reuse jars. I reuse my canning jars every season. I check for nicks, chips, cracks. I reuse those canning jars every season, which doesn't put things into our landfills. Back when I was young, saving the planet was an everyday activity. We had glass bottles that we had to get rebates on, that we would have to take back to the store for soda, for Coke. For any glass bottle, we had to return those bottles to get our rebate. Then when we buy it, we would pay that extra upcharge on the rebate. So when we got it turned back in, we would turn that back in. We did other things. I used cloth diapers for one of my children because he was allergic to disposables. And he it was just the way it was. Now everything is disposable and going into the landfill. So I know that I've got off on a tangent there, but back when my mom was young, I was young, my grandparents, we reused everything. My grandmother reused foil, saved aluminum foil or tin foil, as she called it, and she had folded up squares. So saving the planet is just a little small piece of it, of reusing jars. It's less waste. You can based on your family size. I have pint jars in soups. I have quart jars in soups. You can based on what you think you may need. My pint jars are great for work week. I can take 1 pint jar and there is my meal, just like taking a can of soup. I open it, I heat, and I eat, and I'm ready to go. And the last, I guess it's more than 10. The one thing that is worth it all is the satisfaction you feel when you know you've prepared your pantry and your food, knowing what's in it, and prepared for that rainy day. As everyone knows that have watched my previous videos, I did break my back a year and a half ago, and we had no income coming in. My husband also had injured himself at his job, breaking his ankle, and we had no income. Not once did we have to worry about going to the grocery store. We had meals on the shelf ready to go. That had nothing to do with the environmental factors. We didn't have electricity go out. We didn't have a snowstorm. We didn't have a tornado. We had a health condition that required us to really live off of what I had prepared from my garden and on my pantry shelves by canning the meat that we had either bought, produced, or hunted, which we do not hunt. However, we did have a friend get us a deer, and we were able to preserve that as well. You have to think ahead about not today, but the future. So back to my bacon. It looks wonderful, tastes wonderful. It was a success as far as the taste, the consistency, the texture, very tender, very good. The time in it, I'm not sure was a benefit. We don't have problems cooking up bacon. The only reason that we would want this on the pantry shelf, again, is in place of electricity, power failure, whatever have you that could happen. Camping is still my #1 reason. Taking a jar of this on a camping trip, you don't have to worry about refrigerating it. It's shelf stable. So I appreciate you friends coming and visiting and staying on this video this long. I would appreciate a thumbs up, a subscribe, a share. As always, laugh as much as you breathe, and as always, be blessed.